Well, before we get you the details of the Chanda Chori ledgers that we've managed to access here on Setting the Agenda, big breaking news. This one is coming in from the Supreme Court. We are going to shift focus to that. Well, the Supreme Court has stayed a Madras High Court order that had directed the Tamil Nadu government to ensure that no cow or calf is being slaughtered anywhere in the state on the Eid of Bakri Eid or any other day. In fact, the High Court had passed the direction while hearing a petition a public interest litigation or a PIL filed by a Coimbatore-based activist. In fact, remember, in May 27th judgment, the High Court had relied on Article 48 of the Constitution, the Tamil Nadu Animal Preservation Act, in fact, as well as the earlier judicial directions which had directed the state to strictly prevent the slaughter of cows and calves across Tamil Nadu. Well, this has directed the Chief Secretary as well as the Additional Directorate General of the Police to ensure compliance. Well, after this, you had the Tamil Nadu government which had challenged the order before the Supreme Court, arguing that the High Court had gone way beyond the provisions of the Tamil Nadu Animal Preservation Act. So the Bakri Eid order has been put on hold of the High Court. Let me go across to our legal editor, Harish Nair is joining us. Dharani is also joining us from Chennai. Harish, I'm going to start with you first. Well, this is going to be seen as a big victory for the Tamil Nadu government. However, you must explain to us on what grounds has the Supreme Court said that the High Court may have, as the state had pleaded, may have exceeding its remit when it gave that order in the first place?
Remember, Meghna, the Madras High Court had very significantly said that consumption of beef during Muslim festivals is not an essential religious practice. So now Supreme Court very clearly will look into examine this very crucial aspect. So for a detailed hearing, for the time being, the Supreme Court has stayed Madras High Court order directing the Tamil Nadu government to ensure that no cow or calf is slaughtered in the state on the eve of Bakri or any other day. Remember, as we had reported on July 1, Tamil Nadu Vijay government had on July 1 moved Supreme Court against Madras High Court ordering banning cow slaughter. High Court had on May 27, on the eve of Bakri, imposed a blanket ban on slaughter of cows and calves in the state on any day. State says in the appeal that though petitioner K. Surya Prashant only sought directions to ensure slaughter takes place only in designated places on Bakri, High Court passed a blanket order banning slaughter of cows and calves anywhere on any day. State argues in Supreme Court. State argues that that High Court's order was contrary to Tamil Nadu Animal Preservation Act, which said that which permits slaughter of cows aged over 10 years that are unfit for work and breeding on the basis of a certificate issued by competent authority. Appeal says, apart from the said law, other applicable statutes only regulate the conditions under which animals may be slaughtered, but do not impose a total prohibition.
Well, Harish, do stay on with us. Let me go across to Dharani, who's also joining us. Because Dharani, at the end of it, we saw a lot of politics. It wasn't just a legal slugfest. It was all about the politics as well. There were those who accused Vijay government of blatant appeasement by going to the Supreme Court against the Madras High Court. Tell us about what we expect to happen today politically.
Well, when the Tamil Nadu government appealed against the Madras High Court order in the Supreme Court, the BJP opposed it vehemently. The BJP told that the TVK government is doing this to appease the minorities, especially the Muslim population, and that is why they have done it, is what the BJP told at that point in time. So now that the Supreme Court has given an interim stay on the Madras High Court order banning the slaughter of cows and calves, we have to wait and see how the BJP is going to react to it. But, many parties like the left parties, CPI, CPIM, also the IUML, DMK, etc., they opposed the Madras High Court order. They told that, putting out a ban on the slaughter of cows and calves across the state on any day. It is not only on the evening of Bakri, but also any day, which means there should be no slaughtering of cow or calves at all in the state. That is what that order means from the Madras High Court. So they opposed it vehemently, and they told that it is against the fundamental rights of citizens, their right to choose the food that they want to eat right and their right to practice the beliefs of a particular religion. So now that the Supreme Court has given a temporary relief to the state government in this matter, of course, the parties like the DMK, Communists and UML, they will be welcoming it. But the most interesting part would be to see how the BJP is going to react to this Supreme Court stay, and how the BJP is going to, react henceforth.
Absolutely. Remember, there are several states in India which does have this kind of a ban, which is already in place. But thank you so much, Dharani, for getting us those inputs, as well as Harish. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates. But for the timing, let's move on in the bulletin and talk about the big legal development in the Ayodhya Ram Mandir donation theft case. In fact, the Supreme Court has mulled a full-blown CBI probe into the alleged heist, because there are at least 4 petitions that it's expected to be hearing any minute now. We are expecting those details to start coming in from the apex court. But essentially, these 4 petitions are seeking a CBI or a court-monitored probe by the Supreme Court. In fact, there is a high-powered bench which is led by none other than Chief Justice Suryakant himself, Justice Joymala Bakshi, as well as Justice V. Mohana, are going to be hearing this batch of 4 pleas together. The petitions, remember, have been filed by RJD MP Sudhakar Singh, Advocate Narendra Kumar Goswami, Ajay Kumar Rai, as well as Dinesh Kumar Yadav. They've demanded a court-monitored forensic audit, as well as the immediate preservation of all the account records, so that nothing goes amiss. In fact, the petitioners have also raised questions over the handling of the donations, the accounts, as well as the records of the trust, and are now seeking a detailed investigation into the alleged irregularities. In fact, here are the key details of the trust finances. In fact, we are going to get you the first petition, as well as the details of what exactly Times Now has managed to access. We are going to tell you what the demands are. The petition 1, which has been filed by Ajay Kumar Rai, it demands a Supreme Court monitored CBI-led SIT probe instead of the SIT which is currently happening under the Uttar Pradesh police. Then you also have the demand of preserving CCTV footage, which is very critical as well at this point, they have said. And also they say that they must preserve the DVR recordings, essentially that there is little trust that the Ram Mandir Trust may just be involved in the larger conspiracy. In fact, they are also saying you must preserve all the digital payment logs, which are going to be critical. Here on the show, we are going to show you what really are the physical logs which are there in the donations. Pie by pie, the hisab has come in. We are going to get that for you. But the PIL demands preservation of the transaction records as well as free, fair and an impartial probe. This by the CBI or monitored by the Supreme Court, as well as to restrain the UP government from tampering data. Well, that is the allegation, that there is tampering of data, which may just happen by the Uttar Pradesh government. But let's also take a look at what exactly is the second petition and what is it demanding. The second petition filed by Sudhakar Singh. He is of the RJD. He is a leader with the RJD, and what Sudhakar Singh, an MP of the RJD, he demands a CBI probe, just like the first one, Temple Trust to submit all the donation details. Third demand is temporary oversight committee to manage the running and the conditions of the Ram Mandir as we speak. The fourth demand is to keep the trust away from all management till trial. And now, this is the third and the fourth petition. Let's tell you. The third and the fourth petition, you have these filed by Narendra Kumar Goswami, a lawyer, and he said that the first demand is to give the details of all the donations as well as offerings. Also, he has demanded that we must preserve the CCTV, the digital, as well as the payment records which have come in. Transparent management of the temple assets is also another one. The petition 4, which has been filed by the Hindu Dharma Parishad, has demanded a Supreme Court monitored donation theft probe. Also, similar kind of petitions and the demands which are coming in, which is why all the 4 demands have been clubbed together and are going to be heard by the Supreme Court. In fact, we have Priyank as well as Adib who are joining us. But before we come to both of you, do stay on with us. Here on Times Now, we are going to get you the details of all the ledgers of the Ram Mandir Trust. But before I come to Adib and Priyank, a quick word from our legal editor Harish Nair. I believe he's also joining us. Harish, when do we expect the Supreme Court to weigh in and hear the 4 petitions?
Yes, in fact, Meghna, this Ram Mandir theft matters is case number 21. Even as we speak, the item number 15 is going on. So, six more matters before this matter is taken up. So we can expect this matter to come up for hearing anytime, maybe within 10 to 15 minutes. And coming to a question, as you rightly said, the 4 petitions listed before the Chief Justice bench, 2 out of it very significantly demand a court-monitored CBI probe and a probe multidisciplinary SIT led by the CBI, saying that they have no trust on the UP government police or SIT, and they cannot be trusted with a free, fair and impartial probe. Apart from that, there was also direction for preservation and production of CCTV footage and DVR recordings, and all the evidence be preserved till CBI takes over the probe. The second petition by Sudhakar Singh to a sort of CBI probe, and very significantly also the direction to the Temple Trust to place before the court complete statement of all donations in form of money and valuables received since its formation on February 2020. And the third petition and the fourth petition says that Supreme Court monitored probe is very essential. So in in a gist, these are the main prayers. Back to you.
Well, Harish, we'll keep coming back to you. In fact, now we are going to get you the big Times Now exclusive that we are getting for you. In fact, Times Now has accessed the financial details which have been submitted by the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirtha Kshetra Trust. The trust has shared the details of the income, the expenditure, the assets and the donation records that will now come under the scanner of the SIT probe. In fact, well, according to the trust statement, total funds stand at 250 crore rupees, while the donations which were received were in the financial year of 2025-26, amounting to a whopping 98.24 crore rupees. Well, the trust has reported that there is a total expenditure of 514. We are going to put out those graphics and the details of that on your screen so that you'll be able to see what really are the ledgers showing, and that is very critical. There you have it on your screens. The voluntary contributions are that of 98 crore rupees. More than that, we are going to go on to the next one as well. Then you have donation counters, which alone are putting in 21 crore rupees. Imagine, donation counters. Cash donation boxes are that of 66.55 crore rupees. And then you have online donations of 9 crore rupees. Remember, this is just one financial year of 2025-26. And this all amounts to about 98.24 crore rupees. In fact, the trust has reported that there is a total expenditure. Now we are going to show you the expenditure on your screens as well. What is the 514 crore rupees of expenditure all about, with the temple and the allied construction which was listed at that? What's important for you to see is the total number which is here. This is the total expenditure. 514 crore rupees is the total expenditure. The maximum amount of expenditure, understandably so, went into the capital expenditure, 422 crore rupees, which went into essentially building the Ram Mandir. The temple and the allied construction itself was about 375 crore rupees. The land which was purchased for the temple, which was about 21 crore rupees, which was spent. So this is what the SIT is probing. The reason why all of this is very important is because the pleas are saying this is exactly the ledger book which needs to be looked into by the SIT, by a Supreme Court monitored. At least that is what the plea is. So I'm going to go across to Priyank Tripathi, who's managed to access this details for us. Priyank, give us the details about what exactly do the expenses, what are the expenditures, and what is the incoming donation ledgers that it is very clear has been coming in, because that's going to be very critical to the entire probe, isn't it?
Yes, Adi Meghna, so far more than 1 crore rupee has been seized by the local police in Ayodhya from the houses of all these 8 accused. So far, what we have also got to know that they have also sought the record from Land and Revenue Department regarding 20 individuals whose properties are under scanner, which can ascertain that whether this cash flow was used for purchasing of the property or not. We know that the investigation has been focusing on the kind of cash which has been looted from the donation, following to which what we can certainly sense after looking at this ledger that around 66.55 crore rupee was given to the donation box, followed by 21 crore rupee which was also collected through the donation counter, and there have been around 1 crore rupee which has also been received by the trust through the donation through FCRA. We know that most of these donation was in the form of silver and gold. That is certainly a matter of investigation, because what trust has been saying that they have all these things intact. There is nothing which has been stolen from the trust. Yes, there have been instances where the cash has been seized. So if you can calculate, more than 110 crore rupee is under the scanner of their investigator. SIT has been going through the detail. The police is also going through the detail. But looking at the financial aspect which has been disclosed by the trust itself, it clearly appears that on record there have been more than 100 crore rupee which has been submitted to the trust through donation only in the period of 2024 to 2025. We have to yet see that what had happened in the previous few years. If you can calculate this particular data, then certainly the amount could be of 500 crore, which has been given as a donation to the trust in the form of cash. Whether this cash is still there, how far it has been used, because trust has been saying that more than 230 crore has been invested by them for the construction and the reconstruction work of the trust, for the purchase of the property and the construction work. So multiple things need to be taken into consideration. That's why the matter is yet to come up before the apex court, where these petitioners have shown their distrust with the kind of investigation which has been going on by the state police. Let's see what will be the response from the apex court regarding the demand for the CBI inquiry into this case.
Absolutely. This is very critical. Adeep, stay on with us, because there are more details also which are now emerging. So let's tell our viewers about the funds as well as the land holdings which are now also under the scanner. The reason why it's under the scanner, because the total amount of funds with the trust are 1,876.30 crores. That's the amount. And where is this money? Where are these funds? Well, of this, SBI FDRs are 791 crores. Punjab National Bank FDRs are 652 crores. The Bank of Baroda FDRs are 327 crores. Mutual funds are that of 87 crore rupees. So this is all the funds and the land holdings which are there with the trust already. So that gives you a sense of the extent of money, the properties, also the banking trail that the SIT must now look into. Meanwhile, the opposition still claims that the noose has been tightened on small fish and there is no action, no accountability from the big fish. Let's get you the political war of words.
Let the Supreme Court decision come. I hope that Supreme Court will go on the merit.
Do you think that it will intervene into this entire matter, the way in which this entire scam has taken place in the donation at Ram Mandir?
No, actually, it was a chori of the donation. They are catching on the small fries.
Well, let me go across to Adeep. Adeep, we just heard the opposition parties coming out and saying it is the small fry which are being caught. Is it going to be very important today, the Supreme Court deciding whether the UP Police's SIT will probe it, or whether even the Supreme Court feels that there should be an independent probe? Politically, what's going to be the fallout?
Well, Meghna, see, from day one, we have been seeing that how the opposition parties, they have been reacting to it. And in fact, they have been targeting the government and the SIT formed by the state government. In fact, many of the opposition leaders, including the leaders from Samajwadi Party, the Congress Party, they all have been saying that they cannot trust, they cannot put the trust in the SIT that has been formed by the state government. In fact, they are saying that if the trust is doing such things, then how can we put our trust into the SIT? and that's the main reason many of the opposition leaders are backing up the hearing that is to take place in the Supreme Court. They are raising questions on the role of the SIT. In fact, Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav, he also questioned the role of the SIT Chief Vijay and other members of the SIT as well. In fact, the Congress leader Meghna also, they are questioning the credibility of the SIT, and they are questioning that how can the SIT constituted by the state government can clearly probe this matter, and when the top officials of the government are also part of this trust. So these are the points on which the opposition is trying to corner the government. But remember how the BJP and the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath from time and again, they have been reiterating that let the SIT complete their work, and if anyone will be found guilty, we are not going to spare any one of them. Meghna.
Well, keep tracking the developments. Yes, the Yogi government has said there is going to be sabka hisab. The hisab is there for everyone to see your own times, and we've managed to access the ledgers. The big question remains, was there fudgery in this hisab book, in the ledgers of Ram Mandir Trust? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much, Adeep, as well as Priyank. With that, we wrap up setting the agenda. I'll see you shortly on the other side as well. With that, we wrap up the show.